Let's see what it's like here on our sine waves. Yeah, nice. That is really impressive. So beneath the skin here, you have adaptive dampers, and we're in the comfort mode at the moment. And it is literally that. It is very comfortable. And in and around the city, it feels very compliant and very well sorted. G'day, I'm Paul. Look what is finally here. It is the Volkswagen ID.4. It has been coming to Australia forever, and it has finally arrived. They've had a lot of complications getting it here, but it is finally here, and I'm glad. So the ID.4 is kind of a competitor to something like a Model Y in terms of size and price as well. It's priced at just under $60,000, so $1,000 more than the Model Y, the updated Model Y. But importantly, it has around 100 kilometers more driving range. So they really have crammed big old battery in here that gives you the driving range that you need without having to spend mega dollars. So today we're going to do a detailed review of this. If you do want to skip ahead to other parts of this review, you can use the time codes on the screen, or if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and use the chapters below. So they've launched this, the ID.4, in only one spec here in Australia. It's called the ID.4 Pro. There is an all-wheel drive version coming at a later date. This is just single motor rear-wheel drive. There is also the ID.5, which is like a sportier version of this that is available in GTX trim, which is like a sporty version of this effectively. So we'll be reviewing that a little bit later on as well. What does it look like here in terms of design? So optional colors. $1,000. And one of the funny things that I noticed when we cancelled our Model Y order a little while back, I noticed that the option pricing for the optional colors has crept up. So now the minimum price you can spend on an optional color on a Model Y is $2,300. So if you don't want just the plain color, you have to spend $2,300, which is a huge amount of money. It's like criminal levels of money. So when you do add up some of this stuff, including the additional range, this actually represents pretty good value for money. Design-wise, Volkswagen logo up the front here with white on black. You've got full LED matrix headlights, so you've got the good stuff there. You've got a little bit of aero off to the side there, because electric car. Be curious to see how this is for efficiency as well. A lot of the other cars in this segment have kind of gone upmarket in terms of wheel sizes, low profile tyres, and that is affecting the type of range that you can get. My thought is that with an electric car, unless it is a sporty one, you kind of want this setup here, 19-inch alloy wheels, chubby profile tyre, something that is just going to give you a little bit more mileage over and above style. You've got piano black in the centre there with machined finish on the outside as well. Wheel arch guards just there. You've got this sort of silver panel that runs along the top there that matches in with the silver roof rails. Full glass panoramic roof there, not a sunroof though, so that doesn't open. These door handles, they're sort of flush with the body, and then when you put your hand inside, you've got a little push button there to release those. Now around the back, LED taillights, but these are cool. You've got like these 3D blades that sit in there. They look really cool. So the LED light is actually integrated into each of those blades. You get a wiper here, same sort of Volkswagen logo as the front there with the white text, and then this sort of diffuser section down the bottom here with a shark fin aerial up the top. So let me know what you reckon about the design. Do you think it looks good? What do you think about the price? Do you think they could have gone sharper on the price? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. So we're inside the ID.4. This is what the key looks like. You've got lock, boot, unlock, and then Volkswagen logo on the back. It's a proximity sensing key. So once you're inside, you basically put your foot on the brake and it's ready to go, or you've got a start-stop button here as well, just in case you need it. So in terms of design, it's all sort of pretty pleasant looking. Nice big infotainment screen here in the center. Thankfully, a screen ahead of the driver as well, so you can see all of your critical information there, and it's sort of ready to go. A gear stick is sort of located here on the steering wheel. You're able to sort of flick through gears using that. There is lots of piano black, so you've got some around here as well. The steering wheel has these really annoying capacitive touch buttons, which they're thankfully phasing out, but just something you're gonna have to deal with if you end up buying the car. Storage as well, I'll run through that shortly, but I don't know, it could have been slightly better handled here. We'll have a look at that in a second. In terms of your touch points though, love this. Love a good armrest, especially one that is adjustable. You can sort of move that up and down where you want it to go. Just gives you a nice comfy seating position. What are the touch points like? I guess we'll use that. Nice and soft, soft on the door as well. We've got our durometer. We've tested the main surfaces in this cabin. If you do want to see how this car compares to others that we've tested before, look at the link in the description below. Now, what about build quality? What is it like? Feels pretty solid there. That doesn't feel too bad there. What the door slam sounds like. Now on infotainment, you've got a screen that's just under 13 inches in size, very clear, like it is ultra sharp, so I love the resolution there. In terms of the functionality, look, it's fine. It can be a little bit fiddly. I was sort of trying to navigate around stuff yesterday, and it's might just need a little bit of time to get used to, but it was just a little bit fiddly. There is no inbuilt satellite navigation, and that can be a little bit annoying because your smartphone mirroring is wired. I just can't understand how it's wired in this day and age when wireless smartphone mirroring is a thing. And if you're not going to have wireless smartphone mirroring, you've got to at least have satellite navigation there, because if you forget a cable, you can't use your phone to figure out where you're going. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that could be improved. In addition to that, Volkswagen, I don't know, they've had issues with app connectivity here in Australia. For some reason, we just can't get the same level of app connectivity you can find with other brands. So stuff like remotely unlocking, remotely starting climate, all of that sort of stuff you can't really do. It's kind of like a one-way communication style thing here with the application, which I don't think is really good enough. And I think if you do want to be up against some of the other competitors in this segment, like Kia, Tesla, they all have really comprehensive apps that allow you to do everything, whereas this doesn't seem to have that. Outside of that, you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both wired. So once it is wired in, it's fine, works well, no dramas, big full screen integration, and importantly, you still have access to the rest of your controls with ease, including like a shortcut menu up the top here that's customizable as well. I'll show you what Android Auto looks like. So full screen there as well, pretty straightforward. In addition to all of that, you have FM and DAB digital radio, no AM radio, but you can get pretty much all of those AM stations through online streaming or through digital anyway, so nothing sort of too crazy there. You've got these slide things for your climate and volume. It'll work fine. It'd just be good to have a knob. I don't know why everyone's so knob adverse these days. Then screen ahead of the driver, just all your critical functions there and really everything it needs to be. On the safety front, you've got an auto-dimming rear vision mirror. You've got blind spot monitoring built into the wing mirror. You've got radar cruise control with a semi-autonomous steering function, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360 camera. I'll show you what that looks like. Make that quiet for a sec. Quality of that isn't very good. It's quite sort of grainy, and even that 360 view isn't really that good. I do just wonder, you know, in this day and age, how you just can't have high quality cameras. They're just like a cheap off the shelf item. So hopefully that is something they can improve as part of an update, but that definitely needs to be better. And this is what the horn sounds like. So let's talk about practicality, and we'll start off with your connectivity. You've got two USB-C ports down here, one of which you'll need to use for your smartphone mirroring. There's wireless phone charging down here as well. No 12-volt outlet up the front here, that is out the back. In terms of storage, so I mentioned before that, don't know how impressed I am with the amount of storage here. So you've got these cup holders that can come out and give you a little storage slot there if you want, which is good. Then you have this center storage here, and importantly, it has a cover, which means you can hide valuables and stuff, but it's not a huge amount of storage space. So I think that the packaging here probably isn't that good. I just don't understand why that is all open. You could have easily joined that to the floor there and had quite a deep storage area. That really doesn't need to be open, so a bit of a weird one there. But it does mean that you get these armrests, which I reckon is a good thing. Over here, glove box, also very small. For some reason, it only goes halfway across. There's probably a fuse box or something behind that that's limiting the size of that, but it's just a really sort of weird thing to have. And outside of that, it's all sort of pretty straightforward. There's nothing else to sort of report on the storage front. In terms of comfort, you've got dual zone automatic climate control. So that's controlled through the screen here. You've got heated steering wheel and heated seats as well. And then outside of that, you have electric seat adjustments. You can go forwards, backwards. Your backrest can go forwards and backwards. Lift the front of the seat, the back of the seat, got lumbar adjustment as well. Passenger seat is electrically adjustable too. On the steering front, offers both tilt and reach adjustments. And on our reach test, how does this all go? Easy to reach while you're driving. So second row, what's it like? Knee room. Really good. Toe room, okay, but not amazing. Sort of a little wedged in there. Headroom, reasonable as well. I think if you were taller though, your head would be touching that roof. It sort of feels nice and airy back here. You've got storage for a phone up the top here. You've got map pockets as well. Down here, you've got two USB-C ports, plus air vents, and a third zone of climate control. A center armrest here as well with a set of cup holders and a port that goes through to the boot. It is a little bit scratchy back here though, so they've gone with the world's scratchiest plastic up the top here, so it kind of just cheapens the vibe a little bit there, which is unfortunate. But I'm just going to call this out. I think this is really cool. So basically this door handle, it's an electronic release, so you only need to give it a light pull and it will open. If you are in a situation where the car, it fails or power doesn't work, you can still emergency open it by pulling it harder, and it's got a mechanical release. There's heaps of electric cars on the market these days that just have a button to release the door, but there is no manual release. All the manual release is hidden away somewhere, and you'll never be able to find it in the event of an accident or being unable to get out of the car. So it's good to see these guys have just stuck with what works, which is literally a door handle. Who would have thought? All right, window test. Does it go all the way down? Let's have a look. Yes, and it's auto up and down as well. Now let's talk about cargo capacity. So you've got a power tailgate. So just in its sort of standard form here, you've got around 550-ish litres. Got storage under the cargo floor as well for cables and other bits and pieces. And there is a sub floor with other storage. So you've got a fair bit of storage there to work with, which is pretty good. If you do want more space though, you can drop the second row. When you drop that out of the way, you're getting around 1,600 litres of space. So it's not a bad storage compartment. Now let's talk about charging before we go for a drive, and the battery as well. So 82 kilowatt hour nominal capacity. I think usable is just under 80 kilowatt hours. It's an NCM battery, so it's a battery that contains nickel. You've got both AC and DC charging. This is the type of battery you don't necessarily want to charge to 100%. It's recommended to charge it to around 80% to increase the longevity of the battery. DC charging can occur at up to 175 kilowatts with an average rate of around 120 kilowatts. AC charging, on the other hand, three-phase 11 kilowatts, which is pretty decent, with a driving range, official driving range of just over 540 kilometres on the WLTP cycle. It also has bidirectional charging. It's not kind of the bidirectional charging you're used to in other cars where you have vehicle to load. This can actually do a vehicle to home setup, so you can actually integrate a DC charger in here that can charge your entire home. A lot of people misunderstand with vehicle to load. You can't really just run your home off vehicle to load because it doesn't have the right communication protocol with the car, and you typically can't draw enough current. This, on the other hand, if you are able to draw from DC, it actually has enough current there to run your home and for it to work forwards and backwards in terms of charging capacity. Okay, we have just hit the road in the ID.4. Let's start off with some of these safety systems. I kind of always talk about this stuff because it tends to not really work, but I haven't actually had that many issues with this. It's interesting with a lot of the Chinese brands that we test here that it's constantly a problem. I've got to switch it all off, but here it's actually not that bad. I'll probably just turn the lane departure system off just because we don't have to adhere to lanes here, but the rest seems to be pretty good. So touch wood, let's see how it goes. So ID.4 Pro, available in one spec at the moment, and that is just rear-wheel drive with a single electric motor, 210 kilowatts of power, 545 newton meters of torque, so pretty healthy numbers. And as a result of that, you're actually getting a really nice and meaty throttle response there. Pushes you nicely in the back. It's not like face-pulling performance stuff, but for the price that you're paying, it actually feels really nice and punchy there in the mid-range, which is what you want. Especially if you've got this loaded with family and stuff, you want to be able to overtake. Really feels very comfortable from behind the wheel. In terms of economy, it's actually pretty reasonable as well. So Volkswagen claims a number of around 16 kilowatt hours per 100 Ks. I've been averaging less than that, sort of around the 13 or 14 mark. As we sort of drove around here today, it's crept up to 16, 17, but that number is still pretty good, given that Model Y is consistently around the 13 or 14 mark, and it was when we owned it a little while back as a rear-wheel drive vehicle. And I think that is right where you want to be. It means that you're getting a good mixture there of range with the bigger battery, decent acceleration, again, you've got a bigger battery, nice big chunky electric motor. So it is just a really good combo to play with. Now, one thing I discovered just after we filmed the interior section, there is no way to schedule charging on this car, and I find that genuinely bizarre, and it could be a deal breaker for some people. If you have off-peak charge rates, you're going to have to invest in a wall box or a charger that has the ability to schedule charging. Most cars, I can't even think of any cars on the market that don't let you actually schedule charging for off-peak rates for electricity. So it's quite odd that they haven't fitted that to this vehicle, and that as far as I can tell, it's not available. It is available overseas by the look of it, because I've seen videos explaining how to activate it, but I just cannot find it here. And Volkswagen has confirmed that it's just not available in the car, which is just odd. So hopefully there's a reason to that. I don't know what that reason is. I'm going to chase it up, and if we do get an update before we publish this, I'll insert it into this part of the video. Now let's talk about body control. We're going to crank the speed up to 130 k's an hour. It is maximum speed limit in Australia. Also the speed you're likely to hit if you're overtaking on a country road. Let's see what it's like here on our sine waves. Yeah, nice. That is really impressive. So beneath the skin here, you have adaptive dampers, and we're in the comfort mode at the moment. And it is literally that. It is very comfortable. And in and around the city, it feels very compliant and very well sorted. They're over those sine waves. Even in comfort mode, there's plenty of body control, and it just gives you the vibe that, I know, this car is from a company that has been making cars for a while. You know what I mean? It just feels pleasant to drive. It feels like any other Volkswagen product, which is a product that really doesn't sort of err on the side of sportiness unless it's an R model or a GTI, and kind of just is inoffensive. And that is exactly what this feels like behind the wheel. We've driven so many cars in this segment now, like the previous generation of Model Y. We're driving the new version of Model Y next week, but the previous generation, the ride was appalling. Mustang Mach-E, which I've been spending last 6 months with, ride appalling. So it really just shows you that these guys have gone to the effort of sorting that out. We'll see whether that affects performance in terms of handling, because that is probably where it'll fall apart if it is too soft, but let's wait and see how it goes. Okay, rough road time. 90 k's an hour is the speed we tackle this dodgy stretch of road on. It's a shocker. Corrugations, potholes, you name it. We've got a condensed sine wave here as well. Let's see how it goes over this. This actually feels really quite comfortable. Yeah, there it is. That is great. And look, this is the thing, right? You've got these big profile tyres, really well-tuned suspension. Yeah, it's just a really good combo for this type of road. This is a typical Australian road. You can go from having good quality roads to this stuff in a bit of a heartbeat. Okay, let's pop this over to sport mode. So you have eco, comfort, sport, and individual. Instantly, I could feel the ride firm up there. Great throttle response there too. Let's go for a fang around the track and see what it feels like around the ride and handling track. Oh yeah, that brake pedal feel is really not very good at all. All right, so handling wise, love that rear wheel drive feel. Sort of feels nice and perky from the back there. You get on the throttle, it sort of picks up really nicely. You don't get much wallowing, it just sort of gets up and moves. And you know what, for a spec of this car that isn't the GTX, which is the sportier one, it actually feels really nice and accomplished. It's got great steering feel, just these brakes are really not very good. The brake's fine once you step on it, it's just the brake pedal feel that's quite average. Even these bumps mid-corner, it's dispatching off quite nicely. Let's see what it's like along the back straight here. Yeah, I love that rear-wheel drive feel. It's quite playful. So you can sort of lean into the throttle as you're sort of ploughing through these corners, and you can really feel it's quite active at the rear, but still feels quite planted. So here's the back straight. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, nice. Very good. Picking up speed beautifully, but yeah, this brake pedal, like, standing on it there, it's just, you don't feel anything. It's really weird. There's like no feel through that pedal. It's just really spongy, then it goes firm, and then you've got to really stand on it a bit. I mean, the fact that this has rear drum brakes, I think in 2025 is totally unacceptable. You can't, it's a cost-cutting measure, and if the drum brakes are affecting the brake pedal feel and performance here, then I think it's probably something they need to have a look at addressing. If they do the job perfectly fine, no dramas. I know that EVs use less brakes than a typical internal combustion car, because you are regenning a lot more, but when you start getting brake pedal performance, if it is linked to drum brakes, I think it's something they need to switch out pretty quickly. Now, in terms of visibility, I can see clearly down the front of the car there. It's a great seating position, big wing mirrors, and reasonable visibility out the back. It's a sort of narrow envelope, but not the end of the world. In terms of road noise, this is probably one of the car's big benefits. There isn't a huge amount of road noise that comes into the cabin. Even on coarse chip stretches of road, it was fairly quiet and subdued in here. So pretty impressed with the way they've been able to really level that out. We put it up against our calibrated sound meter, and this is how it went in terms of the results. If you do want to see how this car compares to others that we've tested before, there's a link in the description below. Okay, let's test the lane support systems. We do this at 80 k's or 70 k's an hour rather, and we'll see how well it holds itself in these lanes. So easy in the first lane, gradually gets harder as we get to the outermost lane. Outermost lane has the most banking and it requires the most amount of torque input from the car to the steering to hold it there. So first lane's all good. We'll jump over to the next lane. Okay, wait for that to go green. There we go. So yeah, it's kind of straddling that lane. Yeah, it's moving itself into the center there. It's working pretty well. That's all good. Right, let's try the outermost lane. We'll see how it goes up here. There it is. Beautiful. Holding itself bang in the center of that. So, whoop, it veers towards that. Smash into that, I think. Okay, so yeah, it's holding itself there, but it keeps steering itself to the guardrail, and I fear that it's going to hit the guardrail. So yeah, don't love that. Haven't had that experience in any other cars, so I don't know whether that's just the angle that it's on or something, but yeah, it didn't love that. So yeah, it's weird. It was holding itself fine there to start with, and then it just didn't like it. So, I don't know, just a weird scenario, but works fine in those first two lanes. And on the way here today, it actually worked pretty well in terms of holding itself within the lane while we were driving. Now, let's do a little bit of performance testing. So we're going to go 0 all the way through to 120 so we can see what the 80 to 120 overtaking time is like as well. It's in sport mode at the moment. I'll maybe just put stability control into ESC Sport. There is no way to switch it off entirely, unfortunately. I'll brake boost just to see if it has launch control. It sort of squats down a bit there. So here we go. All right, I'm building up speed there. I think the official time was a little under 7 seconds. There's 100 and 120. All right, let's see how that feels. So 0 to 100, 6.86 seconds, so slightly off the claim time, and then 80 to 120 in 3.88 seconds. That one was actually pretty good. Once it gets up and moves, you know, one of the things they need to manage with these cars, with that much power and torque, you need to really taper that, that torque input from low speeds. I think if they were to just unleash it all at once, it would probably be a bit unruly in the wet, but that 80 to 120 time is really quite good. It just means that if you are overtaking and stuff like that, it's gonna feel quite brisk. You know what, we're gonna give that one more shot. I just want to try something else here when it comes to launching it. So I'm just gonna kind of stand on the throttle instead of brake boosting. So here we go. It felt a bit stronger off the line there, so we'll see if that helps us get closer to their claim time. 100 and 120. All right, let's have a little look. Yeah, for some reason when I brake boosted it really was quite slow off the line, but that felt much better. So that time around 0 to 100, 6.4 seconds, there you go. So just standing on it makes all the difference. All right, let's see what the brake and tyre package is like. We're gonna do a stop from 100 here. Here we go. Trying to squeeze my stomach out of me. That seatbelt thing is vicious. Alrighty, let's see how that went. So 100 to 0, 2.93 seconds, 37.8 meters, which is a really good stopping time. Anything between 35 and 40 is good. And it also shows you that when you go for maximum pedal pressure, you're getting a really good stopping distance. It's just that brake pedal feel just really, really isn't very awe-inspiring when you're out on the road trying to drive a bit faster. Alrighty, so how fast does it go in reverse? Let's find out. Here we go. All right, that is 32 kilometers an hour. Okay, so Volkswagen ID.4. Look, I think that this thing is inoffensive. It's a Volkswagen, you know what I mean? Like you get inside it and it feels just like any other Volkswagen. You drive it and it feels like any other Volkswagen. And I think to me, that is what a lot of people want from an EV. They don't necessarily want a science project. They just want something that looks normal and feels like other stuff that they've driven before. It's well priced. So I think from that point of view, really good. Downsides though, brake pedal feel, don't like it at all. I also don't like the fact that you can't schedule charging. For a lot of people that want to do off-peak charging, there just appears to be no way to do it inside the car, which I think is disappointing. And also the phone app, I just don't think they've put enough effort into that for the Australian market to match some of the competitors in this segment. So I think they're things you have to weigh up, but on the balance of it, it is a really good car. And I'm impressed that it is finally here in Australia. So let me know what you reckon in the comments section below. Have you had a drive of this? What do you reckon? I'm keen for your feedback. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon button. Until next time, take it easy.